bomb or not. So be sure to stick around until the end if you would like to see that. In the commentary today, we're going to be talking about random stories that I have throughout the year. And I'm going to try and go in chronological order, so the youngest one the youngest story I can remember to the oldest, or the newest. That was completely backwards. The oldest to the newest. So, starting off before any time I was in school, I don't really remember much. I remember I moved 3 times after I started preschool, before I started kindergarten, because my parents went through a divorce and just stuff like that, so I had to move around a lot. So that kind of sucked. But once I was in preschool, I didn't really have a lot of friends where I lived, so I went over to my cousin's house a lot. And I think this story is going to make you guys laugh a little bit. So at my cousin's, my brother was just born. My youngest cousin, who was a guy, was just born. So the only people I really had there was my mom. My dad wasn't around because they were going through a divorce, so he never came with us, because it's on my mom's side of the family. So I had my mom, my aunt, my uncle was always working and doing stuff, and I really wasn't into that labor kind of thing. So I didn't really hang out with him. So the only people I had to hang out with were my 2 cousins, one who was older and one who was like a year younger than me, and they were both girls. So they were like 4 or 5 years old. And what are the things that like 4 and 5-year-old girls like to do? Well, the thing we did all the time was play dress up. Yes, dress up. And the thing that we dressed up as the most were princesses. As embarrassing as that is, I dressed up as a princess multiple times when I was 4 and 5 years old. Fun fact for everyone there. It was fun. It was really fun. It was weird. I'd never do that today, dresses and stuff like that. But as a child, like, who cares? You're 4. Who cares what you dress up as? That's what my mom's thought process was. So I used to dress up as a princess all the time, and we had a little oven, like toy oven thing, and we'd always make food. And the only thing I would never eat is broccoli. I don't know why. It just looked gross, and it was broccoli. What kid wants to eat broccoli? So I never ate my broccoli when we made broccoli, so that was a problem. And then moving into preschool, I moved from my hometown to a different town where I did not go to preschool there. I went to daycare there. But while I was living in that town, I started going to preschool in a different town, which I later moved to in the same year. That preschool, I don't remember anything about it. I remember my teachers were old creepy ladies. That's all I really remember. I didn't make any friends. Nothing. Well, I had friends, but I didn't have any like lasting friends. I don't remember anyone's names. I don't remember any of that stuff. So then I moved to the town where my preschool was that same year, and I finished out preschool. And we were living in the ghetto, like a super ghetto at this point. We started living in a ghetto, we moved out of the ghetto, and then we moved back into a different ghetto. So everything's all run down and stuff. My mom wants to move, and she has a friend who owns 2 houses in a really small town where I still live today. And one of her friends offers her a deal on the house, like, you can rent it for this amount of time for cheap. So we moved there. I go to my new school for kindergarten. I have one friend who is my best friend from birth until 7th grade-ish. We were still really good friends up until freshman year when he passed away. But I had one friend when I started there, and I was really scared. I remember my first day, and the very first day I made like 5 or 6 friends. I only have a few of them that I'm still really good friends with, but there's still people I'm kind of good friends with, and some of them moved, you know, stuff happens. So I made friends. Nothing really happened in kindergarten that I can remember. I remember Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually was a big thing, and we were sitting in class one day, and I had these little, like, those, like, rub-on tattoos that you put water on them and you rub them on. And we spent an entire class day giving ourselves Yu-Gi-Oh! Tattoos, which I don't know why our teacher was not fired. We weren't learning, but we were giving each other tattoos. So that's what happened in kindergarten. First grade, the only story I can remember is one time my friend, the one that was my best friend from like birth to 7th grade, he said something so funny in first grade, and I blew the biggest snot bubble of my life during class in front of everyone. That was easily the most embarrassed I'd been up to that point. It gets obviously worse. You've heard some of the stories about like my mom finding things and stuff like that. But at this point, blowing a snot bubble was the end of the world for me. Second grade, don't remember. Actually, I do remember one thing. There was this girl in my class, two girls actually, who one of them my stepbrother actually had a baby with, which is kind of weird. Because he went to a different school, didn't know her until they met at a party, and it was just a weird situation. So there were two girls, and we were like chasing each other around the classroom one time, and our teacher started yelling, like just screaming at us, like she was a big lady, and she just started screaming, and we were all so scared and all this stuff. So that's second grade. Third, fourth grade, we went to the town that I lived in. My school is 5 different towns. So we finally, third and fourth grade, the school building that we went to was in my town, and we went there, and it had a big hill. So in the winter, we were allowed to bring our sleds to school, and we could sled down the hill. That was fun. There's a little creek at the end of the hill that we always fell in, and it was freezing. Like I don't know why they didn't put anything up there to stop us from falling in, but they didn't. So that was third and fourth grade. Fifth and sixth grade, I read a lot of books. We had a little like book reading. I don't know if you guys ever had those book reading programs where you get points per book you read and how long it is and the difficulty and stuff like that. But we did that, and if you got to 100 points, you got to put your name on the wall. There was a wall that you can like put your name and put your favorite book and all this stuff. And for each 100 points you could put your name up there. And through 5th and 6th grade, I think I got it 7 or 8 times, which was the most second most for my grade, behind one girl that I'm still friends with. And I had my name all over the wall, and I thought I was cool because, you know, no one got their name on the wall 7 or 8 times besides a few people. So that was really cool. A lot of my friends, I was kind of a nerd then. I just stuttered. A nerd. Because none of my friends liked reading or anything like that. They were all into sports and stuff, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna read. So we also had a track and field day. We had one day the entire year, the very last day of school for 5th and 6th grade, where we got to try out track and field. And fun fact, I was our high jump champion 5th and 6th grade, as well as the 4x1 champion 5th and 6th grade. I also placed in the 100 and 200. So I was a stud back in the day, alright? I was a champion. And that's what made me do track from 7th grade onwards to my senior year, and hopefully when I transfer to colleges, I'll do track again. So out of 6th grade, we're moving on into junior high. That was scary. We had a lot of kids get held back in the grade above us, and they all moved down into our grade. So I didn't know a lot of those kids, and they were all talking to me and stuff, and it was weird. So our class like grew a fourth in size just from heldbacks. We had a lot of heldbacks in our class, like 20 or something. So our class grew substantially. So nothing really happened 7th and 8th grade, you know, hung out with friends, did track. I was horrible at it. We actually weren't allowed to go to state our junior high years because our school couldn't afford to pay for us to go, or else we would have went in the 4x4. So that kind of sucked. We were a good team. We just didn't have the funding. Moving on to freshman year. I'm doing track freshman year. I almost didn't because I was so scared, like I've said before in previous things. I was scared that the bigger kids were going to bully me and pick on me and all this stuff. They didn't. Like I've said before, April of my freshman year, that friend that I was talking about, the really good one, he passed away middle of April, which that was really hard, and that's when I like changed my life. Like I started losing weight, and I started exercising more, and I got more athletic and all this stuff. Sophomore year, I go into school again. The only real thing I can remember is track. That's basically all my high school story is track. I was good. I won some conference events. I started getting recognized by the older kids who, you know, were really good, you know, state champs. They were all like, man, you're moving up. And I'm like, yeah. Junior year, I got sick. I got mono twice, and I was not able to participate in my track season that year, which was kind of depressing. Senior year, I come out, I try my hardest to recover from all the illnesses. I do pretty well. I get all PRs in every event, but I would have done better had I not gotten sick. What else? Since then, I've come out to my mom. She found my sex toy. As stated, a lot of these are previous stories. At my graduation party, my stepbrother got really drunk, and while I actually didn't really care for... No, it was at his baby shower. At my graduation party, my stepdad's friend got really drunk, and he tried carrying me on his shoulder, and he dropped me and spilled beer on me. And then my stepbrother's baby shower, actually, I wasn't really trying to hang out with people. So I went inside, they were all drunk, you know, all that stuff. Went inside, was playing some Black Ops 3, and my stepbrother comes over to me, and he's wasted, he's like tripping around, you know, can't stand up straight, and he spills his beer on me. I don't know if he spilled it or if he just dumped it on me, because a lot of it got on me, but that happened. So, has anything else happened? I fished a few tournaments since I got out of high school, fishing tournaments. That is the one, like, country redneck thing that I've picked up through my years and living here in southern Illinois. That's the only thing I do that's could be classified as rednecky, I guess. I fish. I've played Call of Duty, started making videos, streaming, things like that. Finding new hobbies that I enjoy. Those are two of the main things I enjoy, as well as track. Those are the three main things that I enjoy doing. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like, comment, or subscribe if you would like to. You're not in any way forced to. I hope you enjoyed. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.